This is Allison. Allison is a scientist researching cancer prevention strategies. Before she can start her research, she needs money to conduct her study. In order to get funding, she must write a grant proposal persuading the grant-giving organization to support her research. As she is conducting her study, she must take detailed notes and write lab reports to keep track of the data she is gathering. When she starts getting significant results, she will need to write scientific papers for publication in order to share her findings with the scientific community. When many people think of scientists, they think of a researcher in a lab conducting experiments. They do not think of writers. And yet, writing is an essential skill that scientists must have in order to share their research. If research is not published and shared, others cannot build on their work. The public cannot trust scientific information, and our knowledge about how to combat diseases like cancer cannot progress. In your science classes, you may be asked to write a report about a study or experiment that you have conducted. As you write, there are a few style techniques you should use in order to make your writing clearer, more precise, more objective, and as a result, more scientific. Because the sciences depend on reproducing and building on previous studies, scientific writing needs to be precise. Ambiguities may cause confusion and prevent your readers from understanding crucial aspects of the methodology and results, which could hamper future research. Words like few, several, many, most, often, frequently, occasionally, and regularly are generally terms that can typically be quantified and made more precise. Instead of saying, several samples reacted, say, 3 out of 5 samples reacted. Using specific measurements and numbers helps to make your methods and results clear to your readers. In addition to being precise, you should also strive for clarity. Scientific concepts can often be complex, so writing that is difficult to follow increases confusion for your reader. Try to use simple words when it will not affect the precision of your information. For example, writing use instead of utilize or close instead of proximal will make your sentences easier for your reader to follow. Additionally, making your sentences shorter by getting rid of empty words and phrases will help make your writing clearer. Remember, your goal is to relay complex information clearly. Using short, easy-to-understand sentences will help you achieve that goal. Here are some common empty phrases that can creep into your writing. Instead of saying, despite the fact, use although. For the purpose of, or in order to, can be shortened to for and to, respectively. Let's look at a sample thesis statement for a scientific paper. This paper provides a review of the basic principles of cancer biology study design, utilizing example studies that illustrate the methodologic challenges in order to elucidate the difficulties inherent in biological research. There are several empty or unnecessary phrases we could remove to reduce wordiness and improve clarity. Instead of provides a review, we could simply say reviews. The basic principles of is another phrase that does not add to the meaning of the sentence. We can change utilize to use to simplify the wording. And example studies is redundant. All we need to say is examples. Because we have already said that the paper reviews study design, we do not need to emphasize methodologic. Finally, because we have already said that we are studying challenges in study design, the section reading, in order to elucidate or show the difficulties inherent in biological research, is repetitive and only creates more confusion. The final statement reads, this paper reviews cancer biology study design using examples that illustrate the challenges in biological research. This thesis is much clearer and easier to understand. Finally, it is important to maintain objectivity in science writing. Science is based on tested and proven theories, so any claims you make need to be based on facts and evidence, not intuition or emotions. One way to make your writing more objective is to avoid first person. Instead of using phrases like I think or I believe, use information from a source to prove your point. For example, you could refer to the work of other scientists saying, Smith evaluated study design to determine the challenges in biological research design. When discussing your own findings, focus on your data and what your data shows, rather than on your own opinions. For example, you could say, the data suggests that, or the results demonstrate. Because science depends on the data you gather, focusing on what the data shows in your report helps your analysis and interpretation seem more objective and credible. Another way to write more objectively is to remove words like very, really, always, or never. These words can make your writing vague or over-exaggerate your point. For example, instead of writing, the authors draw a very strong conclusion that is quite unjustified, write, the author's strong conclusion is unjustified by their evidence. Other important style conventions to keep in mind are using present tense, except when describing the research you previously conducted in your methods and results sections, and avoiding direct quotation of your sources. Remember to ask your instructor what citation style you are expected to use. Be sure to visit the Writing Center or consult our other videos for more information on citing, quoting, and avoiding plagiarism.